Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, let's just dive in and let's start off with the overall market. So ultimately speaking, as we really kind of look at crypto right now, I'm not in a rush, right? Like, I understand that we are getting closer day by day to the big bull run, and yes, I do believe that there will be yet again another bull run. We really just have to fully focus on what the Fed wants to do. Obviously, we are still waiting for liquidity to get better. I do think that we will start to see things shift here eventually soon. And when I say eventually, I mean within the next couple months. As we look at this entire space right now, you know, I think that a lot of these altcoins on this recent capitulation, I think that most of them were already exhausted from sell pressure. Now, with that, I've outlined this many times in the Discord and even in the Patreon and the private group. As we really kind of look at what's going on with this space right now, interest is at an all-time low at a time where most of these altcoins are extremely undervalued. I also love to see the questions around, oh, all this good news, yet the prices are not moving. I want you all to realize that we've also seen very, very incredible news around crypto as well. When you look at institutional demand right now, it is nearly at an all-time high. Deutsche Bank to hold crypto for institutional clients. This happened 11 hours ago. This was a big one. The partnership between Deutsche Bank and Taurus to provide custody services for institutional clients, cryptocurrencies, and tokenized assets is a huge one to look at, because guess what? It proves that institutional demand is still here. And in fact, it's only growing and becoming much more of a trend. I mean, look at all of the major banks out there that are looking at offering crypto custody, or even offering crypto custody right now. You have Standard Chartered, you have BNY Mellon, you have Societe Generale. These are huge banks. As the digital asset space is expected to encompass trillions of dollars of assets, it's bound to be seen as one of the priorities for investors and corporations alike. And this is from the global head of security services at Deutsche Bank. Mind you, we are only at a $1 trillion market cap right now. Like, are you kidding me? And then outside of this, right, you also have Coinbase. The Coinbase CEO was talking about US crypto regulation and also sees more institutional investors coming in. This was 3 days ago. And then, of course, Web3 in Wall Street. Institutional adoption, the next big wave. A recent report by The Block revealed that 52% of the Fortune 500 companies have at one point in time pursued Web3 initiatives. And now we have all of these Bitcoin ETFs from the largest names out there, and we continue to see institutional demand growing. Meanwhile, the entire market is barely moving. Interest is at an all-time low from Google Trends. I mean, go all the way back to 2021 for an example. I mean, like, from 2021 to now, you could see how dead this market is. Interest levels in crypto right now are at the same exact point of March of 2020. Think about how wild that is. So when you are talking about why are prices not moving with all of this good news, I want you all to understand that guess what? Things haven't even caught up yet. The retail sector is not even a part of crypto at this point. Like, you need to understand that we are very early into this next major run. And outside of that, the long-term game here, we are very early in crypto. Now also, huge shout out to Blockchain Backer, BC Backer over on Twitter. This is not 2020. Stop using recency bias. This should be the 4-year cycle and block reward halving theory scenario. Not 12K, not revisiting the lows. It's either this or Doomtown. And guess what? Price is right on track for it. And the masses just capitulated the low. And again, here you guys have a side-by-side chart. Look at this. This is wild when you look at this overall chart. This is why I say, you know, we are very early into this next major cycle. I keep telling you guys that as we really kind of look at what's going on in this space right now, the retail sector is not prepared for what's coming. They're not. those that are a part of this space that actually have their assets locked down, maybe they're locked down on a ledger, right? You guys are going to be rewarded. It's as simple as that. If you can stick out the fall and the winter time and survive, then you will see incredible amounts of growth going over the next couple weeks and also months ahead. And the reason why I say this is because, listen, I've looked at this entire space. I've even outlined it. I'm expecting this market to hit anywhere between $5 to $6 trillion. And yes, that is at the all-time highs. The reason why I say that is because diminished gains, one, but also I don't believe that we go as high as most people are saying. But nonetheless, we will still see incredible wealth creation through a lot of these assets, including XRP. But we do see the alignment is absurd. No matter if you are a doomer or a moon boy, recency bias of 2020 is not the behavior to be drawing from. And here we have, again, Bitcoin. You see the same time, range breakout, same range. And, when we really kind of look at what's happening here, I really do think that we are about to see some heavy growth within the space. And also here we have, as you can see, there's barely a retrace as in 2016. And look at this. There's 2016. Here we are over here, 2023. Bitcoin side by side. So when we really kind of look at what's happening here, we are expecting anywhere between like 50,000 to 70,000 again on Bitcoin in the next couple months. And here we have as well, which is entirely different from 2019's full retrace of the 618 to the 702. For anything remotely similar, we'd need to see $48,000 plus. And here we have Bitcoin right now. And like I said, anywhere between like roughly $50,000 to $70-some thousand is, in my opinion, the next level of interest on Bitcoin. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, but I do think that once we start to move, it is going to be very quick. And the reason why I say that is go back to 2020 and 2021. You've seen how quick this space could move. And it really can move very fast, especially once we see interest really kind of start to expand. Now, also, I do want to talk about a few things. So we have seen this discussion come up around XRP, and I don't want to, have anyone feel disrespected, but I think this idea that XRP's price has to be set and XRP has to be at $10,000 or $30,000, and I think that all of this noise now is getting a little bit ridiculous. First off, I don't believe that XRP is going to have a set price. I don't think that XRP is going to have a set price. And I think that a lot of you have debunked this already. I'm not saying that anyone posting this is, they should be avoided or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, always take these statements with a grain of salt. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. But I will say this around XRP. I don't believe that XRP is going to have a set price. I actually agree with what Crypto Eddie said because she actually responded to this statement. She said decentralized crypto assets like XRP cannot be price set. Price is determined by supply and demand dynamics in the global open market, sometimes with influence factors like trading sentiment, adoption, news, and liquidity. The deceptive false price hype shared by people who know better has unfortunately reached unprecedented levels. And yes, it really has, especially with what I've noticed, the monetization aspect of like Twitter. I've talked about this in recent videos where I was like, once we've seen monetization kick in, that's when we start to see a lot of fake news being spread over on Twitter. One theory that I do want to build upon on this, because we do see Utility for the Win actually responding to Crypto Eddie, and he's talking about, what do you think of this concept? Mainly when I look at the idea of like price sets or like price theory, I really kind of go back to the Gold Reserve Act, right? Because like nobody really controls gold specifically unless you are holding a very large supply of it, where you are essentially running a monopoly scheme around gold, if you will. But the Gold Reserve Act, going back to the 1930s, essentially revalued gold. And I think that this is where the theory comes in to play. And I think that this is where a lot of speculation becomes a big focus point is, will XRP be revalued? And I just don't see that happening. Again, maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see that happening. Um, and I also think that this is where the buyback theory comes into place as well, which again, I don't see this happening. But Utility for the Win is responding, and this is the theory, right? Setting the price could be done artificially. Speculative example, say OPEC decided to say, we will now trade 1 barrel of oil for 1 XRP. The arbitrage opportunity would almost immediately bring XRP's value to the fair market value of a barrel of oil on artificial set price. Now, he's not saying that OPEC would ever do this. He's just giving an example. And we even see here, like, any situation like this would involve someone with very deep pockets, like you said, or a coordinated effort of many powerful entities. It was done for gold in the past. That's where, I really kind of brought up that idea as well, where US said, we will buy gold for X amount of dollars, pegging the US dollar to gold. They, being the deep pockets, are able to set the value of an asset just by declaring what they are willing to pay for it. Now, we do see Crypto Eddie saying, granted, artificial price setting has been tried, but if the price is above the equilibrium level, then the quantity supplied has already exceeded the quantity demanded. Excess supply or surplus has been the result. In the crypto market, you can't ignore arbitrage. In a global market, the principle of arbitrage comes into play. If a commodity's price is artificially high in one region due to price fixing, arbitrageurs will exploit the price differential by buying in the low price region and selling in the high price region, which will quickly eliminate the price disparity. And yeah, I completely agree. Like, honestly, like, when we look at what's happening around this space, I think that there's so much nonsense being thrown out there. Like, listen, yes, I think that there's ideas around possibilities of, like, where we talk about Gold Reserve Act and we bring that up and we kind of tie it back to XRP. But I think that this is a little bit different of a scenario, just like Crypto Eddie did really kind of talk about. Like, when we're addressing crypto assets, I don't think that there's going to ever be a price set. I don't think that there's ever going to be a buyback theory. I've talked about these in the past, and after being in this space for a little bit of time, those that you looked up to and respected in the past, you really kind of come to the realization that a lot of what they have been saying and a lot of what they have said in the past is really kind of all for clicks and to generate, hype and really kind of engagement. I don't like the idea of coming on here and saying, hey, I don't like this person because they're saying this. I'm never going to do that. But one thing that I will say is an individual that really kind of unveiled the true potential of XRP and the XRP ledger, Mickey B. Fresh, has been doing a ton of great information research regarding, liquidity, Prisma, even like on-demand liquidity ran through like an AMM and decentralized exchange. Like, there's been a lot of great information that has been posted by Mickey B. Fresh, not only over on his Twitter, but also over on his YouTube. And I really got to give props to him because he has done incredible amounts of research on this topic. And in this blog, this is the first in the series dedicated to the XRP community members who are ready to embrace the reality of the XRP ledger ecosystem transformation. It's not about waiting for banks to magically boost XRP's price. Instead, it's about actively participating in an evolving ecosystem that's set to redefine the future of finance. And by the way, when we really kind of look at Ripple, I've said it in the past, we're not really waiting on Ripple to create value for XRP, because guess what? That's not the way we should be looking at it. I've brought up the ecosystem many times in the past, and I'm actually very bullish on the future around the XRP ledger because there's hundreds of use cases already building on the XRP ledger. And I've seen some people say there's thousands of use cases building on the XRP ledger, which if that is the case, then hey, that's extremely exciting because that's where a lot of the value comes from, right? And here we have a decade in the making, competitive pools of liquidity. The XRP ledger was built to be a multi-asset, decentralized open payment network with pathfinding and auto-bridging from its sophisticated payment execution engine. And this is the video, by the way, that got posted over on Mickey B. Fresh's YouTube channel. Combined with a native distributed exchange that was the world's first decentralized exchange, these two foundational components of the XRP ledger will be directly integrated with the XLS30D AMM spec. A powerful, novel, automated market maker that will provide a network of competitive public liquidity pools that anyone can contribute to and draw off of. This is David Schwartz's vision for past decade coming to fruition. AMM liquidity pools will be the lifeblood of a fresh economic model that will drive organic demand for XRP's utility as liquidity in these pools. XRP, the digital asset, will be a far more attractive asset to own with the ability to earn native yield It's high time we recognize its significance. And by the way, this is what I'm really kind of waiting for with XRP, if I'm being completely honest, where, we could possibly provide XRP in these liquidity pools and be paid out in native yield. That will be a huge opportunity. Now, obviously, yes, this does come with risk as well. So we need to make sure that we know the risk before we are involving any of our own money in these liquidity pools. Remember, providing liquidity does come with a risk, but it is very beneficial considering the fact that you could earn high yield on it, and also expanding the XRP ledger ecosystem opportunities abound. Like, we are starting to see major expansion on the XRP ledger. We have these side chains, right? And I've talked about these side chains. I'm not like a massive fan of it, but again, all of this is to provide major on and off ramps, and also provide even more building and more utility, and open even more doors for XRP owners. And then, of course, XRP owners turn network users. The game-changing moment is here. XRP owners can now become active users of the network and ecosystem by putting their XRP to work. They contribute to adoption growth while earning steady compounding and low-risk yields. It's a win-win scenario that's finally coming to fruition. And yeah, this is very exciting. Like, listen, we are at a very crucial time in the space where not only are we seeing institutional grade demand, we're seeing the XRP ledger expand rapidly. We're seeing new expansions. We're seeing new use cases being brought out. We're also seeing a lot of tokenization discussions around institutions. We're seeing now global real estate markets being disrupted by tokenization. I mean, everything that we have seen in the last couple of weeks and months gets me very excited for the next cycle, because I think that we're almost at that turning point where, we're done with the speculation, we're done with the hype, and we're kind of getting into the point of utility, right? Where utility really does matter. Now, of course, yes, are we still some time away? Sure, we are, right? When we look at interest around crypto, it's practically dead. But I do think that soon, and when I say soon, I mean very soon, this is going to change. Because just like back in March of 2020 and the whole time frame of like roughly 2019, because it was like after like around June or so, we're kind of following the same exact timeline here, if I'm being honest. Right after roughly the summer of 2020, it was like right after the summer, jumping into like September, October, November was the big time. And I specifically remember this time because I think XRP was trading at around roughly 60 to 80 cents. And it started to really kind of move heavy. And then, in December, you already know what happened. But after, December, boom, the whole market took off. We've seen Dogecoin being, paraded around on mainstream media. I mean, everything in 2021 was an absolute wild time in the space. And of course, with max interest, we get to the point where, all right, things are a little overbought. We need a correction. And then that's where the bear market comes into place. And now we are really kind of just gearing up for the big run up again. I do think that liquidity does need to improve. That's pretty much on the Fed right now. There's a lot of things happening around that right now. A lot of people have been looking at the CPI, the FOMC, and things like that. But I think that we will start to see things, starting to move pretty heavy, just like blockchain backers saying, and just like a lot of people are also seeing as well. And when I say a lot, it's not a lot of people. It's very experienced individuals that know what they are talking about and have been here for past cycles. And they also realize that, listen, interest is at an all-time low. Retail is barely here. While we do see a lot of great news, but it's not really reflecting price yet. And I do think that soon we will see the price reflecting that. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Peace out.